Hi guys, I'm Rafael Marcolino and welcome to Sapiens, every week with a new drum video for you. This week's video is extra special for me because it's my first interview and I filmed this interview a few years ago. I already had the vision for Sapiens and I was already building up this idea and I had the name and the whole concept, and I knew I would want to bring more than just drum lessons, more than just me teaching how to play stuff. There are these amazing drummers out there that have lots of more information than me and different information. So I knew I wanted to have interviews with those drummers and my heroes and guys that I like to watch playing and listen to. And I was lucky enough to interview Aaron Spears, and I'm very happy to finally be able to share this interview with you guys. So I hope you like it. Aaron is an amazing drummer and he's an amazing person, and it's always a pleasure to be in his presence and talk about anything with him. So I hope you guys like it. There's a lot of cool information in there. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Don't forget to like the Facebook page. And don't forget to subscribe to the mailing list. But now it's not actually a lesson. I'm not teaching you anything. I'm just bringing information from this amazing drummer, Mr. Aaron Spears. So here's Rafael Marcolino for Sapiens, and today I'm here with the amazing Aaron Spears.
Guys, I'm just Aaron. What's
happening, bro? You are an amazing drummer, man.
I appreciate it.
It's a great pleasure to be able to shoot this interview with you.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it.
And how are you liking Brazil so far?
I love it, bro. This is like my third time here. I would love to live here if it was possible.
Oh, really?
Oh, man, it's amazing. I mean, I figured,
like to go to the beach?
The beach is amazing. The weather is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just, the people are so cool, man, so chill. Like, I genuinely, I love it here, man.
Cool. So my first question is, going back to when you started, did you have a drum teacher, or do you consider yourself self-taught?
For me, I would consider myself to be self-taught. Like my early teachers were people that I would watch. So I grew up in church, and I grew up playing in church, and for the most part, my early influences were the guys that I would watch on Sunday morning. So I would watch them and try to emulate the things that I heard them do, and the things that I would hear them play, the way that they played with the band, the way they played and interacted with the choir. I would, go home and I would try to replicate those things, in my practice time. I also spent a lot of time listening to music and playing along with records, just having the opportunity to listen to these different genres of music and to try to play along and, like I said, replicate the things that I'm hearing on these different records. For me, that was a great way to learn, a great way for me to develop. As I got older, I started to spend time with, different friends, and we would play and practice together.
Other drummers?
Other drummers,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, we would share together, and that became an incredible learning environment, to see, other drummers, see your peers, the way that they would play certain things, the way they would play certain grooves, maybe different inflections, the way they would maybe catch the ride, or, hi-hat catches with their, kick, to see things like that and to implement them your own way. Or, it's like, sharing the things that along with them. I feel like that helped me to grow a lot, because as much as I was learning and taking in from them, I was also sharing, with them.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like the more that I would put out, then it helped to empty me, so that way I can pick up more stuff from them, and the same thing from them. Like, we all just kind of thrived from sitting with each other. But I credit those things to really, really helping to develop me as far as what it is that you see now.
Yeah. And how old were you when you started, and when you started to take it more seriously, practicing with your friends?
Well, I started very young. My parents say that I was like maybe 2 or 3 when I started
Oh,
kind of
really?
playing. Of course, I don't remember
Oh,
that
yeah.
young, but
But you have a drum kit
yeah,
at
it
your
was
place,
it was
and
like it was one of those like Sesame Street,
oh,
Muppet,
yeah, yeah, I
like
get
the
it.
paper,
Yeah,
with the heads are really, just made of like,
plastic pedal,
yeah,
and yeah,
exactly, like that sort of thing,
yeah.
So, the first time that I actually remember playing for real,
Hmm.
I was probably like maybe 6 or so,
Cool.
and I got a chance to play at church by myself, without being on someone's lap, them playing the pedals, and I'm playing the stuff up top. Like actually was able to kind of play a groove by
Hmm.
myself during service. I was probably like maybe 6. Um, from then, man, like I mean, I just always loved playing, and for me, it was never something like I'm gonna play so that way I can, make a career of this,
Oh,
or I
yeah,
want to tour the world, or I want to be famous, or I want to be the most amazing drummer the world has ever seen. For me, it was never ever any of those things.
I
Like
see.
I
It came
played,
naturally.
yeah, I just played because I enjoyed it and I loved it. And it wasn't until I was much older that I realized that there were people that were doing what it was that I wanted to do as a career.
Oh, I see.
So then I, started to kind of ask questions like, how does this happen? Or, what do I need to do? Or am I ready? Or how should I better myself so that way I can be prepared to take on certain things or certain roles? And, but that didn't really happen until I was probably like maybe 21, 22,
Oh,
maybe, when I really started thinking like, you know, this is really what I want to do.
so you were more like playing drums than studying drums
Yeah,
for
most of my life. Yeah,
most of your life.
yeah.
But did you spend any time studying more technical things, rudiments, stuff like that? Or
Wa- Yeah, once I got to college, I spent some time studying to understand things that I was playing because the stuff that I was playing, like if I'm playing like a six note roll, a 6 stroke roll,
hmm.
I had no idea that that's what that was until someone
I
told
see.
me. I didn't know I was playing a double paradiddle until someone said that is a double
Oh,
paradiddle.
that's cool.
You know what I mean? It's just,
But you were already figuring out those
yeah,
patterns,
for sure. But
like watching other people
yeah,
playing.
but and even listening to people playing, like the
Yeah.
stuff that I was playing was just stuff that I felt, I felt to play, but not necessarily having the knowledge of what it was. You know what I mean? I just didn't know. I just know this felt good in this space. Oh, this is what I'm playing. Da, 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 da. These are uh, Swiss triplets I'm playing. I had no idea
Yeah.
that that's what it is,
But
but
you were already
I
playing
was
that.
playing those
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
So later on in life, then just kind of studying and getting together with friends that were very knowledgeable were showing me things.
Cool.
So that's kind of how it worked for me.
Talking about your style, we see a lot of linear patterns when you're
Mm,
playing,
hmm.
fills and
Yeah.
some grooves and stuff
Mm,
like that. I guess the answer now because of what you already told me,
yeah.
but did you have any system to create those patterns, or was everything just naturally, you were just
Nah,
letting it
the
flow?
stuff that I'm playing is just it's organic, man. It's
Oh,
just
cool.
I'm really just feeling it and just I wasn't concentrating on it being linear, or I wasn't concentrating on it being different. When I'm playing stuff like that, I'm really just playing for myself as opposed to to like wow the crowd or make people
Oh,
be
yeah.
like, oh my goodness, that was incredible. Oh my.
Well, but we do that when we see you playing.
It's like, man, when I'm playing, it's like I'm really just expressing myself.
Feeling the music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Um, you got, let's say, famous
Okay.
because you worked with, well, you are you got famous for working with some people that have a huge impact on the musical industry.
Mm,
Usher, Alicia Keys, the Backstreet Boys.
Oh yeah,
They're big here in
big,
Brazil.
huge.
And now you came to Brazil touring with Ariana Grande, right?
Yes.
But is there a band or a project that you feel is your home as a drummer, that represents you as a drummer?
Man, I would say because I spent so much time with Usher and that gig, I think that really um the creative process and the touring process, musically, everything, that was a really that represented me really, really well.
Cool.
You know, because it was like a great balance of structure and then also a great balance of creativity in certain spaces. And it's like, you know, the music director and Usher allowed me to really be creative and expressive,
Cool.
where you know where it fit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that combination was really, really special. So I mean, I feel like that was a great, you know, a great home, you know, for me. You know, now thinking about it, it's like, man, I want to make, you know, every gig my own. You know, so like
Yeah.
with Ariana Grande, you know, the music is not as expressive. It feels good,
Mm-hmm.
but it's so much more straight or so much more pocket. It's a lot more like the records. You know what I'm saying? And I think that I'm doing a really good job of making sure that
Mm-hmm.
the integrity of that music is what it's supposed to be.
I see.
And I feel like as a drummer, that's what you're supposed to do. You know, you have to treat every gig properly. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know, you being a chef or you being a cook and you're cooking for, you know, 4 or 5 different people. You gotta cater to everybody specifically, you know, and it's the same thing with music. If you know that the artist likes the music to be very straight and they like it to be like the record, you have to figure out a way to make it feel good and play it like the record. If they like, you know, to be more expressive in certain sections, you have to figure out how to tastefully be more expressive in certain sections. And that's your job as a musician.
Cool.
Yeah.
And our last question,
Okay.
I will split it in 2 questions.
Okay. Not one last question.
Two last questions.
Okay.
Who were your biggest influences when you started playing drums?
Yeah.
And which drummers you like to watch nowadays that influence you in a certain way?
Well, my earliest influences were the guys that I would watch right there in church. Like, you know, the church that I grew up in, there was a lot of drummers. And it was always like, you know, different gospel guys that played on certain records that I would listen to that were very influential to me, like Gerald Hayward, Joel Smith, Dana Davis, Jeff Davis, Marvin McQuitty. You know, like these were guys that played on records that I was able to listen to during that time. You know, as I got older, then I would get into like Clyde Stubblefield, or Jabbo Starks that played with James Brown, or the guys that played with Motown, like the Motown sound, or Earth, Wind and Fire. You know, it was just the music that I listened to. The guys that played the music on these records were my earlier influences. As I got older, then I got hip to like to Dave Weckl, or Steve Gadd, or Dennis Chambers, or Benny Caliuta. Like those to me are like my top 4.
Yeah.
They do everything well. You know, all those guys. You know, and I feel like together those 4 are just like just the most incredible batch of musicians. You know, and then like to this day now it's cats that I love like Thomas Pridgen, or like Ronald Bruner, or Mike Mitchell, Jamal Moore. You know, these are young guys, Matt Garska, you know, Mark Giuliani. There's so many guys now that I look at and I listen to, and I'm just like, oh, Chris Coleman. It's so many guys that I watch them and I'm just in awe at the things that they're playing, or their musicality, or how the intention behind their playing. Like, you know, they don't just, you know, play just, you know, for, you know, likes or followers. You know, they're playing from their heart, and incredible and inspiring to experience stuff like that from those guys.
Cool. So you go around YouTube a lot, watching
Sometimes
drum
YouTube,
videos, or
YouTube, Instagram. Sometimes I like to look at old stuff. You know what I mean? And sometimes I like to look and see, new stuff, what's current. I'll look at those things for inspiration. Not necessarily for like. I don't use it as like some people use it for like like information to copy exactly. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's like I use it as inspiration of where it is that I'd like to go, or maybe take a little component from here and add that to my plan, or maybe a little piece of this and add it.
And always adding your own taste.
Absolutely,
to that.
I think that's important. Your own identity is extremely important. That's the way that it has to be.
Cool. Well, man, thanks very much
my
for your time.
Anytime.
And I'm thrilled to watch you playing.
Oh, wow.
right now.
Don't be excited. I'm
yeah.
I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks, you. Cheers, guys.